For 8 long years, a woman had lived in the same house, and even after all that time, the strange paranormal activity inside still managed to shake her to the core. This clip is yet another reminder of why she has never grown comfortable with the haunting that seems to linger there. She begins recording while seated, aiming the camera at the doorway ahead, sensing something was coming, a familiar warning that the house was about to stir again. Soft knocking sounds begin to echo through the hallway, faint but persistent, repeating with an eerie rhythm. It's slow, deliberate, almost as if someone, or something, was gently trying to get her attention from somewhere deeper inside the home. She hesitates for a moment before rising to her feet, gripping the camera tightly as she walks down the hallway toward the front room. With each step she takes, the knocking grows weaker, until the moment she reaches the end of the hall, it stops completely. The silence that follows feels thick and unnatural, as if the entire house is holding its breath, waiting for her next move. We don't know what she did afterward, but hopefully she's taken steps to cleanse or banish whatever haunting presence has been growing stronger around her. This clip comes from 2 urban explorers who were investigating a long-abandoned hospital known for its deadly history and intense hauntings. While making their way through the decaying hallways, they captured something absolutely insane, something they were never prepared to encounter.
어디 갔어요?
원래 병원에 계셨던 곳이야?
네, 저 원래 몸이 안 좋아서. 근데 지금 상태도 없어졌어요.
상자 어디 간 거예요?
저도 방금 깼어요. 원래 병원에 계셨어요? 네? 저기요!
Could it have been someone trying to prank them inside the haunted building? Or does this raise an even darker question? Who, or what, were those figures standing in the hallway of an empty, supposedly deserted hospital? Before we jump into our next terrifying video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, so you'll be the first to know whenever we upload something new. Now let's get back to our next video. This man has always been the type to notice the smallest details, tiny movements, faint sounds, anything in his home that feels even slightly out of place. But lately, those subtle things have been happening far too frequently to ignore. He explains that it began with strange noises late at night, but recently the paranormal activity has become bold enough to appear in broad daylight. That's when he decided to start recording, hoping to capture solid proof of the haunting unfolding around him.
Oh, dear Jesus. Oh, hell no. No freaking way.
The video begins in his dining room, where a wooden chair quietly glides a few inches across the floor all on its own. In the next clip, The camera sits in the kitchen and records a drawer slowly pulling open with deliberate, steady movement, as if an unseen presence were standing there. Finally, the third part shows a wall sticker in the living room, peeling itself away from the surface, curling downward without a single hand touching it. Mike says all 3 incidents happened within just a few days. And while none of them were aggressive, the steady escalation has him questioning how far this supernatural activity is about to go. Justine captured this strange footage inside a store somewhere in Asia. After the owners reviewed their CCTV recording, they noticed something deeply unsettling. A woman appearing out of nowhere in front of their shop, seemingly teleporting from one spot to another without any natural explanation. They insisted there were no cuts in the footage and no signs of a camera glitch. So if the footage is authentic, how is this even possible? The woman then stands still, staring ahead for several moments. But what really unnerved the owners was the sudden appearance of a red glowing shape forming right behind her. Was it a car? A reflection? They couldn't say with certainty. If the woman were simply pacing around or behaving strangely, it might be easy to blame it on confusion or mental illness. But the strange movements, the sudden apparitions, and the unexplained teleportation make this encounter far more bizarre. The footage continues a bit longer, and that same red apparition shows up behind her yet again. So what exactly are we looking at here? A glitch in reality? A paranormal entity? Or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below. On November 14th, 2025, a woman named Sydney checked into an Airbnb with her dog while attending a weekend wedding. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal, until her dog began acting strangely. No matter the time of day, he would stop at the exact same spot on the staircase and stare downward, frozen, as if something unseen was staring back at him every single day.
So I wanted to show you guys some footage of my dog with these stairs. Again, she's been doing this ever since we got here, every single day. It's usually at different times, so it'll be pretty sporadic on when she does this. But the first time my sister actually, when she was out running an errand with my niece, she came home and she was like, oh my God, what is she doing right now? And I ran over from the kitchen and literally this is her. Like she's just standing here, kind of sniffing around, just very, very focused and very like something is definitely making her like very interested. Like she just seems so like locked in on these stairs. It was super weird. But then I started noticing it too, like at random times of the day and night. So here's another clip that I got of her doing it. This is when I had seen her like walk over to the stairs and then I was in the living room watching TV and there she is again, just back at it, just sniffing around, kind of standing there. And then this clip right here, this one really freaked me out. So I kind of knew that it was happening because it had gotten really quiet. She left my side. I was in my room in bed, about to go to sleep. And I just, lo and behold, see her, like walk over and see her. And she was so locked into the stairs this time around. It was so spooky, guys. Like, honestly, I literally at this point, I was like, I need to ask this landlord, like, what is going on? Cause yeah, I had to definitely let him know, because I had no idea at this point what was going on with her. But yeah, so.
After viewers noticed her dog doing this repeatedly, many suggested she check beneath the rug on the stairs to see if something was hidden there. But when she lifted it, everything looked completely normal. That's when she realized what might actually be drawing her dog's attention, the thing he kept fixating on so intensely.
Okay, so I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here. So I just found a door back here. So I don't think that it's what's on the stairs. I think it's something that's underneath. So I tried to check, but the door is locked. Obviously it's an Airbnb, so they lock a lot of the doors up, but so yeah, I don't think that it's what's on the stairs like what I initially thought. I think it's what's below. I want to find out at this point.
At the bottom of the staircase, tucked behind it, she found a door leading down into the basement. Sydney believed this was what her dog had been staring at each time he froze on the steps. The door was locked and wouldn't budge. Then she noticed the gap underneath it was wide enough to slide her phone through, so she placed the camera under the door to record, when something unexpected happened.
So this is the switch. You guys can see their light is on right there. I'm wondering.
Just there's something right behind the door. Oh my god.
As she pushes her phone under the door, the basement floor looks empty. But the moment she pulls the phone back, a shape twists upward from the other side. Terrified, Sydney bolts around the corner. Later that night, strange noises echoed through the house, and she captured something far more horrifying on video.
Up in this corner of the house right now, me, my sister, my niece, we're renting out this Airbnb for a wedding this weekend, and we were just out walking my dog. And when we came in, we heard Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
Footsteps can be heard coming up the stairs. When she turns to look, her dog's leash suddenly jerks into the air as if yanked by invisible hands. After witnessing this terrifying paranormal activity, she sent the footage to the landlord and asked if anyone else lived on the property. But based on how her dog reacted, this clearly wasn't just another person.
Okay, so I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb, and hold on, let me turn on the light. Okay, I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb asking, like, hey, is there someone else renting it out as well as us or what? Because there's a room under the stairs that we can't get into. It's locked. So I didn't know. And basically he was like, no, you guys are the only ones that are in the Airbnb right now, like booked out for the week. So Okay, kind of feel relieved in a way, because I think it would be really weird and kind of creepy if there were people staying there as well that we didn't know about. But yeah, he didn't seem worried at all about it, so we'll see.
But the haunting didn't end there. The very next night, something even worse happened. Watch carefully.
Scary. Okay. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
As she holds her phone out just far enough to reach under the basement door, something grabs it, forcefully pulling the phone away and dragging it deep enough for it to slowly tumble all the way down the stairs. Strangely, the phone stops moving once it reaches the bottom and sits completely still for a few seconds. Then, as if pulled again, it suddenly falls the rest of the way. Even more chilling after landing flat, the phone rotates on its own. Then, like a scene straight from a horror movie, it lifts upright and points toward the basement door before collapsing again. Shaken, she immediately contacts the host. Eventually, he arrives, unlocks the door, and retrieves the phone. Using her sister's device, she records the aftermath.
But there's no reason for me to go down there. But I'm waiting to start hearing things from coming underneath my house. That's it. I'm out of here. Going through the door. Okay, well, door two is creepy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Somehow, her phone had been dragged through the large gap at the base of the door and pulled all the way to the bottom step. The landlord showed no concern when she sent the videos, almost as if he knew more than he was willing to admit, which raises the biggest question. What exactly is happening inside this Airbnb? Like many unsettling paranormal videos, this one remains a complete mystery. A woman named Kyla was hearing eerie things around her house, like light footsteps crossing her porch late at night, whispers drifting past her bedroom window, and gentle tapping on her walls when no one is there, encountered something even more disturbing. This time, she was outdoors, and her doorbell camera recorded what sounds like a ghostly voice. Listen carefully.
Inside, Kaylee, go! Kaylee, go! I'm not. If he's gonna grab his keys, then you're gonna have to leave me. What the was that?
A completely unknown presence can be heard saying, "Hey, hey, hey," with chilling clarity. When a voice comes through without any physical form ever appearing, many in the paranormal world believe it suggests several possibilities. Some think it's the sign of a disembodied spirit, one that hasn't fully manifested but still has enough energy to create sound. Others warn it might be a mimic, a supernatural entity that copies human tones to draw someone closer or lower their defenses. And in certain hauntings, a voice without a visible figure is considered the first step in a progression, where the paranormal activity slowly intensifies, growing louder, more frequent, and far more personal over time. If this truly is the early stage, what follows could range from full-bodied apparitions to objects moving on their own, depending on the intent of whatever is trying to reach her. For now, one thing is certain: something spoke, and it wasn't human. Henrique began recording that night after his young daughter mentioned hearing strange tapping sounds near her cabinet while she was trying to fall asleep. Hoping to reassure her that nothing paranormal was happening, he switched on his phone camera and started filming the quiet bedroom, aiming the lens toward the cabinet where his son usually slept beside it.
O que vocês fariam se vocês... Não, não, acabei, juro por Deus, eu vi negócio preto aqui do lado da... Ó, até acordou, cara. Cadê?
For the first few seconds, everything appears completely normal, just an ordinary room in the dark. Then, without warning, a shadow sweeps across the window beside the bed, moving far too quickly and at an impossible height for anything outside. A split second later, a loud, sharp bang echoes through the room, jolting him upright. He rushes to the window to check, but when he peers outside, there's nothing there. The yard below is empty, and since this is the second floor, no person or animal could have walked past. Henrique stands frozen for a moment, the camera still rolling, trying to process what he just witnessed. That shadow shouldn't exist, yet it was right there, inches from where his son had been sleeping only hours earlier. A couple is sound asleep when their bedroom camera captures something that defies every logical explanation. What it recorded has left many questioning what really lurks in the dark. Watch this. At first glance, most people would assume it was simply their cat wandering through the room. But after replaying the clip again and again, the wife, Hannah, is convinced that whatever appeared wasn't her pet at all. And once you hear her describe what she noticed, you may start to rethink it too. She admits her initial reaction was also to blame the cat, yet something about it immediately felt wrong. The glowing eyes, they seemed to materialize out of thin air. And the bigger issue? She has 3 cats. One is clearly sitting on the headboard, while the other 2 are about 10 feet away from the bed. So what or who was standing behind her sleeping partner? Hannah also points out there are no mirrors, no windows, and no lights in that direction. Only a pitch-black hallway and an open closet behind the bed. That detail is what truly set off the viewers. Many now believe that whatever those eyes belong to may have emerged from the closet itself. Hannah is still rattled and says she can't get the image out of her mind. So the question remains, were those the eyes of a ghost caught on camera, part of some lingering haunting? Or is there another explanation waiting to be uncovered? You decide. A woman known online as Bulldog Mom is standing in her kitchen, casually watching a Mr. Balin story on her phone, when she suddenly hears her daughter yelling from the living room. It's the kind of unexpected moment that instantly shifts the mood. Take a look.
Mother. I don't know what's going on. The f*** was that?
What unsettles her the most is that these strange sounds only happen when she's completely alone, never once appearing when relatives or visitors are nearby. After uploading the footage, the internet wasted no time offering theories. Some claimed it could be a ghost trying to get her attention, while others insisted she should investigate the home's past, in case some old trauma or lingering paranormal energy left a haunting imprint behind. But the part that truly chills her? There's no rhythm, no warning, just sudden, unexplained noises that seem to emerge out of nowhere. She has already contacted a medium to find out whether a spirit or even something demonic might be trying to interact with her, and what its intentions could be. Until she gets answers, she keeps her phone nearby, ready to document the next burst of supernatural activity. A man recorded something he's convinced is far from normal. He was sitting on the couch watching TV, like he had on countless other nights, when he suddenly heard a faint metallic jingle. The zipper on his wife's handbag. The same handbag that hadn't been touched in hours. No one walked near it. Nothing brushed against it. The room was completely still. Yet the unmistakable sound echoed through the space. Feeling both curious and unsettled, he got up to see what caused it. But the moment he stepped closer, this happened. How do you explain an object that hasn't been touched for hours suddenly shifting on its own? There was no breeze, no vibration, nothing that could logically cause it. Normally, he and his wife might have dismissed it, but lately, too many strange things have been happening in their home to ignore. Just 2 nights earlier, his wife said she watched a dark shadow figure glide past the doorway, even though her husband was fast asleep right beside her. So when the bag moved on its own, it didn't feel like a coincidence. It felt like part of a pattern, a haunting that's growing stronger, more deliberate, and more bold. Whether paranormal or something else entirely, one thing seems certain. Something inside that house is trying to make itself known. Barry was home alone one quiet evening while his wife and kids were out doing their own thing. In all the years they had lived there, Nothing even remotely strange had ever happened inside the house. So when he began hearing faint, unusual sounds echoing through the rooms, he grabbed his phone and started recording, just to see if he could capture whatever was making the noise.
The signs that aren't really out there to touch on. So what now? Do you want to go?
Okay. That just moved. Wonder if it will move again.
The camera is aimed at a toy in the living room, sitting perfectly still at first. Then, without any warning at all, it suddenly starts to move by itself, the rope sliding to the right in a clear, deliberate shift. Barry doesn't say a word, but you can hear his breathing grow uneasy as he realizes there's no normal explanation for what he's seeing. The windows were shut, there was no draft, and the family cat, the only creature that could have nudged it, was nowhere near the room. He mutters a quiet acknowledgement, overwhelmed by the fact that something unseen just tugged the toy on its own. The moment leaves Barry shaken, whispering under his breath as he tries to process the paranormal activity he just witnessed during what should have been a calm, uneventful night at home.